back to Studioloo. It's Cindy. So today I'm not exactly sure what I want to do. I don't have huge plans other than to work on my Tinkersketch prompt. I really want to dig into doing some new journals. So I am getting the papers cut for these Sidewinder journals. So I've got 3 finished. I've got 3 more to go. Oops. Sorry, I just moved you there. I've got 3 more to go. So I'm just giving my shoulder a little break from the constant chopping of the paper. So I think what I will do maybe, well, what I could share with you is, so I'm taking part in that Anne Brooke 52 handmade tags challenge. And so I did, in my last video, I think I shared making the kiss one, that I made the kiss one. So I'm trying to catch up on weeks 1 through 5 now. So I did week 1, the theme was all white. So on this one, I used some nice lace at the back. And then I actually wove on top of the tag. So I added my warp here with a cotton embroidery thread, and then I used a wool hand spun boucle as the weft. So I created like you can probably see the texture here. I created this little woven piece in natural white wool, and then I just added this really delicate paper leaf, lacy leaf on top. And then at the top, this is actually a mollusk shell from the Irish Sea that I got in like an art supply swap that I did several years ago. So then I just stitched around it, and that is week 1 all white. And then week 2 was about using a heart, and also about whatever color you used your heart, you had to use a contrasting color in the background. So for me, it was a little bit of a challenge to use red and green contrasting colors, because I don't like red and green outside of like nature and Christmas, but actually I think the blues and the yellows and the white just really made this a very magical feeling, like, I don't know, it feels kind of like wonderlandy to me. So the heart is actually made of leather. I have a whole bunch of different colored leather samples on this big key ring. So I cut the heart out of that, stitched around it. The whole tag is covered in this beautiful fabric that was actually from a vintage dress. Then just to kind of go for a little further on the hearts theme, I drew these little like children's seagull style little V-shaped stitches with some hand spun yarn all the way down the tag, and then I just inked around it in brown and put some avocado paper on the back, and you can see the stitched heart at the back. So yeah, those are the 2 tags that I made for the Anne Brooke 52 handmade tags challenge. So today, our Tinker Lab sketchbook challenge, or in my case, Ephemera challenge, is squirt paint. So I was a little bit like, I'm still a little bit hesitant that I should be squirting paint, because this can only lead to a giant mess, because it's me, and you know, but I'm going to give it a noble effort. So I've chosen these 3 colors here, and I want to incorporate some birds over here on this paper. So I'm just going to not think too hard about this. The one thing I can say is I'm probably going to get paint all over my hands, unless, you know what I could do is use a piece of like tape, some kind of tape, like a little piece of tape, and just kind of block some of the bottle of acrylic paint, just block it off, and then let's try to squirt. This one's not super full, and I think it also does not like being blocked like I'm blocking it. Just gotta give it a little shake to bring the paint down. Okay. So that's enough of that. I don't think that this did anything at all, because it definitely came out just as thick and gloopy as I thought it might. So let's try this neon, crazy, amazing fluorescent yellow. Oh yeah, this one has an even bigger situation here. Yeah. Okay, let's just call that squirted. Okay, that has been squirted. I'm just going to add the paint from my finger. Actually, I'll put it on the glue book here. There we go. There we go. Nothing happened. I mean, I guess this texture, I could leave this to just sit and dry, and it would like leaven out the texture. Like it would probably flatten out a bit, and then it would be dry, so the texture would be locked in. This bottle of paint is not open yet. Let's just get it open here. Why is everything so difficult to open? I really need to do these things before I start filming. Okay, there we go. Let's give it a shake because the particles might be all separated here. So let's see if we can get this one to just kind of, it's more, there we go. Okay, I feel a little braver with that one. There we go. That one was a little more successful. So that is squirted paint. Now, there's no rules saying you can't, you know, manipulate it once you've squirted it. So I'm thinking of just doing this, just tapping this card. And that's just going to move the paint around. There we go. Okay, that's all I'm going to do. So that paint was squirted. You saw me squirt it, and then I just kind of smacked it a bit in order to just make it like a little more spread out so that we have some color down. So the next thing I'm going to do is just let me grab these birds. I just want to tear around these birds here. Okay. Now I need, where is that? Here it is. Sorry for my reach. I need my teal. I'm going to ink around here with a bit of teal and with the brown inker because I like that it gives it almost like a patina feel. Okay. All right, now, what to do? So I think I'm not going to be able to finish this in this video just because, like, it has to dry, plain and simple. But I do think I'm going to cover this in glue from my glue stick here. And I'm going to put it down on the card where I want it. And then after the card is dry, I will go back to it and complete it. So I think the most kind of boring section is like at the top here, maybe. So I think I'll just lay it down like that. Just grab my spatula here. There. So that's what I can do for now. So I'll probably come back. I will stitch around this. I might drop a little bit more paint on it or squirt a little bit more paint on it. I don't know. I haven't decided. You probably would do better with something like this with like like a little syringe, like those little liquid syringes. That would be good. Yeah. But I think this is going to be cute regardless. So I'm just going to set it aside and let it dry. Then what else can I show you? So I did just a minute. Here we go. So yesterday I was cutting all of the ends, like the excess paper tips off of my papers for the signatures for the journals that I'm working on. Like all of these, you know, strips that are, you know, the excess from the size of the paper that you're using. And then what I did, let me just get rid of this page here. What I did was I wove them. So maybe I'll show you how to do that. What else am I going to do for a little while? So it's a great way to use up your scraps if you are cutting like long strips of paper. So when you do like paper cutting, the offcuts are these long strips. So I wove them and then I stitched all over the whole thing and then covered the back. So maybe I can do that with some more of my scraps over here. So this is what I have. So the way that I do this is I just use a book page, because why not? I just run just a thick line of glue at the top, just from a glue stick. And then I look for any interesting paper. And what you're creating here is basically called a warp. When you're weaving, the part of the weaving that goes up and down that you weave through is called your warp. So where the part you weave with is called your weft. So let's see, I don't like to add a lot of white. But this is like avocado dyed, but it's quite wide. Let's see what else I have over here. Maybe some of this pink invoice paper. And you can butt them right up together. Just looking for something that isn't boring. Okay. So that's a decent width for the project, I think. Now we need something to weave in between. So the way that you're going to do this is under, over, under, over, under. And then the opposite with the next one. So under, over, under, over, and under. Grab the other end and just scooch it right up to the top as high as it'll go. The glue will stop it at some point here. And then just kind of flatten it. I don't worry about putting glue on at this stage. I lift the whole thing up afterward, which I'll show you. Oops, string. Then this one goes over, under, over, under, over. This one's a little bit fidgety because of the holes in the paper, so you just gotta scooch it along here. There we go. So many scraps. This one I'm just going to cut down a little bit because it's super thick. Okay, so you can make tags or journal cards with this. Because I've already made some tags, I think I'm going to turn this one into a journal card. So I like the size that this is right now. So all I'm going to do is just basically touch it up with glue where I can here. So just add some to the back of this so it sticks down. Just all the ones that are flapping around on the sides here, those you can lift up and just throw some glue on. And then the same with the ones going up and down, right on the edge there you can glue. Okay, so I think that's everything that is sticking up that can be glued easily. Then you lift the whole entire thing up for a second and just throw some glue behind it. And that's going to affix all the pieces in the middle. So first you've kind of glued your structure together, and then you're gluing your structure to your main piece of paper. Okay. There we go. Just move all these extra scraps that I'm not using away here. Okay. So now I'm just going to go and trim the excess off the side just to make it so I don't have all these flip around bits here that are making it harder for me to handle the paper. Okay. Move this glue out of the way. Actually, I'll leave that card there for another minute. I have to back this still. So then what I'm going to do is actually just glue down that page to this page so I can thicken the paper. The end card will be thicker. Just glue these together. That's the joy of book pages, is you never run out of them. Okay, and then we can pull it out of the glue book. Then what I would suggest is essentially decide what size you want your page to be. And then just do a cut, you know, to roughly where you want to do this. You could use your paper trimmer for this to get a really straight edge. I feel confident that I can get a decent straight edge. Probably here. So then I just want to add a little bit more glue here. These pages were not sticking together. I think there was one more page in between that I didn't even realize. When I was sticking them together, I think I picked up two and only glued the back one. Yeah, that's totally what I did, because there was no glue on there at all. That's better. Okay, so let's get our scraps out of here. I'll probably keep that and use it in collage. Then, once you have basically some kind of a shape that you like, I gotta go back here and just snip a little more, I think. How do I want to do this from this side, I think? There, I want something a little more rectangular. Then I'm going to clip the corners. Now I will move this splatter painted card out of here. I have to pull the sewing machine up for a minute and do some sewing. So if you don't like the sound of a sewing machine, I recommend you mute right now. So I've stitched all the way around the edge now. I'm going to now just go across it a few times. So I chose to do this in like a crazy quilt, sort of all over the place stitching, but you could just neatly go on your edges where the two pieces of paper meet. So that is that. And you could back this first if you wanted stitching on the back, but I knew I was going to be going all over it, so that's why I didn't back it at this stage. But I'll back it now. Just going to grab a piece of paper here. And you could stitch around the edge again if you like to see the stitching on the back paper. That's totally fine. Here we go. You can see some of the invoice paper on there, which is kind of cool. I'll just really adhere it. Okay, there we go. You can hear my husband upstairs. He's doing a school activity with my daughter. We're sort of doing an object dissection this week, like taking apart something that's mechanical or electronic. So I found an old camera at our recycle center. So I brought that home, and so they're using tools and they're taking it all apart. So it should be kind of fun. Then with this, you can basically put anything on top of it that, you know, you would find interesting. Let me see if I can find something. I almost wonder if it wouldn't be fun to put like a flower on top from a piece of fabric. This one has really cool flowers and different kinds of images. Sort of think maybe a piece of this could be cool. I'm gonna cut this green. There we go. This is from a vintage dress that I really loved, but it wore out, as things do. So now it becomes journal stuffs. That's the nice thing about working with like reused materials and vintage materials and stuff like that, is that you don't have to look far for art supplies a lot of the time. So I think I will put a little glue on there, just maybe in the center, just to adhere it a little bit, because I'm going to stitch around it. So I'm going to probably use that sewing machine again now. Sorry if that bothers anyone. I know I hear other YouTubers always apologizing for sewing, so I feel like I need to be a part of the club here. Apologize. So I'm just going to stitch, I think, around this, this, and this, so that you're going to get like 3 kind of round concentric circles of stitches. probably heard me readjusting the machine several times. It's because when you're going, you're stitching on, actually I think I like that without any more stitching. I'm done. When you're going around the edges, you have to kind of keep adjusting to keep them flat so you don't get a ruffly kind of effect. But yeah, that is a cute little journal card. And you know, you could keep embellishing, you could put a label on it, you could, you know, do anything you like with it. You also alternatively can just keep just the patchwork or woven paper, but I think it makes a nice background, and I think, like, you know, it's a very fun and functional kind of thing. I got some of that yellow paint on there. That's okay. It's all part of the plan now. So there we go. So my ephemera box is slowly filling up. I'm like getting there. I'm halfway maybe to a full ephemera box. I feel pretty good about it. And I'm like happy to be finishing projects. Still very much happy with this one from yesterday. So yeah, I am like really loving these challenges because they're getting a lot of my ephemera made. And I also have these fun, I don't know which journal I'll use these in, but I've got these fun yarn sample cards. When I made the textile themed journals, I put some of those in there. There's still a few of those journals available in my shop. Like they're actually pretty cool journals. So yeah, I think that's it for now. I'm going to try to get the rest of that paper cut so that we can jump into the Sidewinder journals next. And that will be a bit of a big effort. They're going to be sort of like not, you know, they're going to be almost, you know, kind of naked. I'm not going to fill them with ephemera. I'm going to put a little bit maybe, do some fun, interesting things. But really, I think it's going to be more about the covers and the papers that I include. And they'll really be for you to embellish or, you know, to write in or whatever. So yeah, that will be coming up next. And thank you so much for joining me for this squirt paint thing I'm doing. We'll see how this turns out later when it's dry. I might do a little bit more to just kind of be a little more true to the challenge. So yeah, anyhow, have a great day. All of my information is down below in the description box, and I would love it if you subscribed. Thanks so much. Bye.